More than 70% of Minnesota is now under a severe drought. You can see proof of that in our dry lawns and in creeks and rivers that are at very low levels. Dry conditions are also impacting farmers across the state. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us the unusual dilemma facing a Brooklyn Park farmer.
I never seen this bad.
Bert Bauman's Fresh Pickens Farm is a staple in Brooklyn Park. He's been selling fresh corn and other vegetables for more than 10 years. However, this year, things are different.
Nature has thrown a really bad curveball.
Bauman farms about 200 acres. The pumpkin and cornfields are growing well, but because of the drought, he has to work harder to keep things green and luscious.
It's a big challenge. Physically and emotionally, we are drained.
Brooklyn Park farmers have a unique challenge. The soil is very sandy, and farmers have to water more often.
This is what Bauman's field would look like without an irrigation system. This field at a neighboring farm is about half the size it should be.
So the demand of water on a sandy field is tremendous. It's wonderful to grow vegetables, but you have to be worried about getting water to it.
Bauman has 2 wells and multiple watering systems, including a larger scale irrigation sprinkler and a drip irrigation system.
With the drip irrigation, I'm conserving water like incredible.
But all the watering to keep the crops and vegetables green is costing him a lot of cash.
For sure, 20% above what normal cost is.
He says the excessive heat is also causing corn to grow faster, and that produces a different problem.
We might have a shortage of corn on the end of the season because everything is growing faster than normal.
All that extra corn is not going to waste. He donates it to a local food shelf.
I am donating 2 truckloads this week because I have too much. And I'm glad to do that. I'm glad to be able to harvest and still utilize what I have extra.
Meanwhile, the generous farmer is praying for precipitation.
So we are hoping that this will end at one point.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The drought is also causing fire danger across the state.
We do need to be very diligent about everything we're doing out there and recognizing that with all of the dry grass, all of the dryness out there and the lack of water, it is increasing the risk. And without a bunch of rain in the forecast, that risk isn't going to get less.
The Minnesota DNR expanded burning restrictions to not allow campfires at several campgrounds across the state, and campfires only in established residential backyard fire pits. Besides being extra cautious of fire risks, consider taking extra care of your trees too. If you notice a tree displaying signs of stress like wilting or changing color, put down a hose and let it run on a slow trickle for about an hour once a week.
It's better than just taking your hose out there and blasting 20 gallons and watching it just float away because it can't get into the soil right away. That hard pan, it's just so dry to start. So that slow trickle on the uphill side is the best key.
Paul Buck says the dry conditions are also contributing to an increase in insect infestations. The Solar Energy Industries Association says solar energy use is going up in Minnesota. We spoke with one of the founders from Minneapolis-based Nokomis Energy about solar energy trends. Here's our conversation with Brendan Dillon. So you work with people, cities, and communities all on clean energy development. What does that mean?
That's right. We're a clean energy developer, so we work with municipalities and businesses, to identify opportunities to build clean energy projects to meet their energy goals. Most importantly, saving them money. Most of the projects that we're building in the greater Twin Cities area are either on-site solar, meaning we're connecting a solar system behind the customer's meter to reduce the amount they purchase from the utility, or we're doing community solar, which is where we build projects in front of the meter or just on the distribution grid of the utility that allows customers to then save money by pledging some of their energy usage to come from those projects.
All right. And often we hear that people don't invest more in solar because of the cost. Is the cost coming down?
There's so many opportunities to save with solar energy and a variety of energy technologies that it's a very exciting time to be looking into it for sure.
What sort of trends are you seeing that are coming down the pipeline? pipeline?
You know, like I said, there's so much. We're going through a massive energy transition right now, moving from, large centralized power plants to, more of a distributed structure. And it also gives a lot of more choice to energy customers to evaluate where they want their energy to come from, as well as how much they want to pay for it.
All right. And are the options just putting solar panels on my house, or is there more out there?
That's certainly, one of the most common options for folks. I mentioned community solar, which in Minnesota is a very large part of how people are participating in the energy transition. But you can think about a variety of other technologies that are coming down, electric vehicles, energy storage, all sorts of smart grid applications that, maybe a homeowner may not participate in, but their community eventually will by, modernizing their grid, lowering their costs, and getting more clean energy into their community.
Someone wants to dip their toes in the solar waters, what should they do?
I would definitely, find a local installer that you trust, or if you're a business or municipality, find a local solar energy developer that can help you really understand your options and walk you through, all of the steps needed to implement your own project.
Because it can be a bit complicated, right?
That's right. There's just a lot of things that are changing with this energy transition, and you got to get to know your utility, get to know the programs that they're offering, and then translate that into what's the best project for, whether it's your city, your business, or your own home.
All right. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
You have until the end of the month to catch the current exhibitions up at the Hopkins Center for the Arts. And on the first floor is an exhibition by Leah Yellowbird called Can You Hear Me Now?
The work on display is expressive of her identity as Anishinaabe Métis Native artist. It incorporates elements of traditional Native art as well as her own personal unique worldview and expression.
The gallery is open to the public and free to attend.